Hey guys, Steve Benoon here with Israeli News Live, and I'm watching closely this whole situation with Venezuela. And the reason I'm watching that closely is because the time from years ago that I spent working with CIA, it was more for me, it was discovered in hindsight. It wasn't as well, I wasn't as knowledgeable at that time with the things going on in Nicaragua and the work the CIA was involved in, both domestically and both foreign. But what it really comes down to is it comes down to who's going to control the drug trade coming out of South America. I just had a conversation, even before this whole case with Venezuela, a couple of days ago, with a new friend of mine that was in the military in Afghanistan. And we were talking about the poppy fields. And I knew very well, as I've shared with you guys through the intel sources that I have, how that drugs from the poppy fields were being controlled by the United States military. They would bring it in on C-130s coming into the United States, and then also the trade route for Europe was being handled through Iran, and Iran through Turkey, and from Turkey into either Ukraine or Greece. Might be another interesting reason why we have a war in Ukraine. You never know exactly what all these wars are for. But now we have Trump talking about he's going to go shut down the drug trafficking that's coming out of South America and Maduro, and that he is a drug lord and he's got to put a stop to it. Well, most likely the drug lord is putting a stop to the other drug lord. Don't let this fool you. Back when, and I've got a good friend of mine that's a pilot that knows full well the involvement of the Clintons with the drug trade that was happening there in Arkansas. Well, I was working with the CIA out of Northwest Florida and Southern Alabama, and we actually had a secret base in Alabama. And they were, at the time, which I didn't understand it fully at that time, I should have put the pieces together. My stepdad was a ship captain, so he operated ships all through down there near Central America, places like that, was able to ship in the drugs. I knew that he was involved in drugs. I did know that. But when I was working with the CIA, I wasn't really focused on him. I was focused on whatever mission I was being sent on. Normally, they're out there trying to cover their tracks a lot. All these politicians are trying to make sure that nobody knows what they're really up to. A lot of the power companies back in those days were involved in the drug trafficking for doing the money laundering. Gulf Power, Alabama Power, Georgia Power, all of them. All you got to do is do a little bit of looking up of the things that happened during those days. Some of the people that died, some of the people that, kind of went missing, things like that. I could go on and on and on about those issues there, but needless to say, the point is that what Trump is down there for now is because undoubtedly Maduro has found new ways to get the drugs into America, and they're getting paid, but those politicians that are so corrupt are not getting paid. And that's become a big problem. You see, drug trade is very controlled. How many of you guys have met me in meetings before that were in law enforcement that did drugs and things, or, didn't do drugs, but in other words, you were in the narcotics divisions, that came to me and would tell me about those strange situations where certain people, you were told, hands off. Other people, well, you could arrest them, put them in jail. Anybody that was stepping on the toes of the well-greased, well-oiled, well-funded drug trade that's being ran by the U.S. government, that's the one they don't want no one dare stepping on those toes. So, yeah, it's very interesting how all this works. But that's why Trump has sent our military down there. That's pretty gutsy, to send your military down because somebody's not getting their kickbacks. Well, just use the American taxpayers, have them go fund it, and have them go squash the guy and take him out of power so that you can get someone into power that will obey the orders. Think about that. Listen, your support of this broadcast is important. So think about supporting us as well if you don't mind. God bless you. Thank you for listening. And I'll be updating you much deeper tomorrow.
In the past, you came to Africa with armies and took our lands. Now you come with companies and contracts. You used to rule us with whips and guns. Now you control us with loans and deals. Let me give you examples with names, numbers, and facts. Lancor. This is a Swiss company that mines cobalt in Congo. In 2022, they made $256 billion in revenue. But they paid Congo only $500 million in taxes. That's just 0.2% of their earnings. Is that fair? Rio Tinto. This British-Australian company mines bauxite in Guinea. They take out 20 million tons every year. What does Guinea get? Pollution and sickness. Total Energies. This French oil company works in Angola, Nigeria, and Congo. In 2022, they made $36 billion in profit. But they leave behind old, dirty pipelines and poor communities. Anglo-American. This company started in South Africa but is now based in London. They take diamonds, platinum, and iron. What's left in South Africa? Millions of unemployed miners. These are just a few examples. There's more.
One of the
This is the book of This is the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom Yahweh shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Call Halal Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Wachakodash. That's who this world ignorantly called God and Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit in the Paleo-Ancient Hebrew tongue. Double honors to the elders and apostles across the four corners of the earth that's pushing this truth and sincerity. We know where that truth lives, with the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Starting with Elder Tar on down. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Here to give a quick sit down, man. It's a lot. Something I came across, man. These devils back at it again, man. You know, Trump think I'm gonna label this, Trump sends troops to Venezuela because the cartel won't break bread, you know? And hey, this devil does that consistently, man, you know? He goes, sends spies over there to infiltrate and see what other countries got going on. The spies come back, you know, let them know, hey, you know, they got this there, that there. And then if that country don't want to break bread, then, you know, this man he'll find a way to send his troops there, man. You know? And this is nothing new with this man. You know, this man is he has gotten his wealth through wickedness, man, you know. And then Trump says he's going over there to stop the cartel, stop the drug lord. Nigga, first and foremost, how do you know that drug lord lives over? How do you know that drug lord is over there, man? How do you know exactly where he's at? You know, that's the questions that should be asked. You know, you want to go send troops to go stop a drug lord. How do you know that drug lord is there, man? How do you know? Because they dealing drugs they goddamn self, man. You know? They dealing drugs they goddamn self, man. And this man is the biggest hypocrite on earth, you know? This man is the biggest hypocrite on earth, man. You know, here, lo and behold, he sends Jake to prison and he wants to give the death penalty for drug dealers, man. But meanwhile, he mad and want to go over there in Venezuela and blow down on the cartel because they're not broken in a piece of the pie, man. See what type of man the Lord got over us, man? You know? Hey, that's why we can't wait. That's why the elect, man. Y'all right to Jake part of that number. We can't wait, man. Can't wait to put our hands on this. Can't wait to be unleashed, man. Like the Lord promised us he would. You know? This is the book of Psalms. I'm going to start at chapter 10, verse 2. The wicked in his pride persecuteth the poor. Salak, let me go to the blue letter. It says, I'm going to read verse 2. I'm going to read it in the NIV. In his ignorance, the wicked man hunts down the weak. And Salak, who are caught in the scheme he devises, man. And hey, that's what this man do, man. You know, this man probably done not to negate. Jake wicked too. Cartel Northern Kingdom, that's Jake, man. They're Israelites too. They're wicked as well, don't get me wrong, but this devil probably done motherfucking set up a deal with these cartels like the so-called African video I presented to you, the second one, man. You know, he said, like I said, they used to rule with whips and guns. Now they come with contracts, man. Contracts and military, man. You know? And that's real, man. And Salak, man, I own no rights to these videos. It's for educational. I own no rights to those videos. It's educational purposes only, man. Okay? But, free game. But yeah, man. Man, you know, this devil probably done made a deal with the cartel, man, you know, and seen the cartel bringing in more bread, man, and he wants more. The more he see that you can bring in, the more this man will want. You know, Israel probably was like, man, Northern Kingdom probably was like, man, fuck this shit. We tired of you, mother. We tired of these devils, man. We ain't got to give them no percentage, man. And that's probably what's going on more than likely, man. You know, Northern Kingdom don't want to give Esau no more of the percentages of the movement, of the motion, man. You know? It says he boasts about craving of his heart. He blessed the greedy and reviled Yahweh, man. You see? And look, that's what this man do, man, because he basically this man holds agenda on earth is about deceit and ruling, man. You know? That's all he based his whole life on, man, is deceitfulness and ruling, man. Rape, robbing, and murdering, man. You know? And hey, anything his heart desire, this man will get it done, man. He's gonna do it, even if he gotta put someone to death. You know? And everything this man is... Look, this man sending troops over there, man, to go over there and extort the cartel, man. You know, he probably done sent spies over there, the FBI, CIA, to go have a meeting with with Northern Kingdom. And Northern Kingdom probably like, nah, we not dealing with it, man. You know? We tired of y'all, man. You know? In his pride, the wicked man does not seek him. In all his thoughts, there is no room for the Most High. His ways are always preposterous. Your laws are rejected by him. He sneers at all his enemies. He sneers at all his enemies, man. And that's sneers going into mocking, man. Scorn, man. And that's what this man do. What it says, he looked down on his fellows, man. In the book of Daniel, it states that, man. You know, this man Let me read the KJV real quick. It says, "For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and bless the covenanters, whom Yahweh abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all of his thoughts." And that's right, man. This man don't even believe in the Most High, man. This man don't even think there's a God, you know? His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth up at them, man. And hey, that's this man, bro. You know, hey, this man has his military to go extort resources that they may have over there in other countries, and do it, and then turn around and put sanctions on them. You know, like what? Yeah, I did it. What? Oh, you're gonna bark back? You gonna say something? Okay, don't allow this to go there. Put sanctions on them. Don't allow this to go there. We're not gonna allow this there. Or if we do bring it there, we're gonna tax you even more. You know, that's what this man does, man. He puffeth up at these other nations, man. He do things to these other nations and then buck up like, yeah, I did it. What? You know? He does it without a care, man. This man don't give a fuck about shit, man. You know? Let me get another scripture, man. Because Habakkuk already said this man's soul is not upright in him, man. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 4. "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." And that's right, man. He's talking about him. That's the so-called white man, the white nation, man. You know, this man's soul is not upright, man. This man has took you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians time from being free, man, for drugs. You know? Man, putting Jake Dick in the dirt every day, all day. Judges putting Jake Dick in the dirt for drugs, man. You know? Sitting Jake ass down somewhere for drugs. But lo and behold, this man is the biggest drug lord on earth, man. Especially through his pharmacy, you know, through the medical field. That's one of them. Let alone letting these bricks ride through, man. You know, getting money off the cartel, off the back end, man. While they push the bricks. You know, like what was that movie? Damn, that movie with Jake, man. And the FBI got a hold of Jake with Rick Ross. Damn, I forgot what that movie is called. It'll come to me though. But let me read verse 5. "Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, never keepeth at home. He enlarges his desire as hell," man. And that's right, man. This so-called white man don't never stay in America, man. He's always in other countries and extorting other countries, man, in their business. He wants this man to see something in another country, man, and want it, and you know, go there and give them a contract or a deal. You know, give me this and we'll do this and if they don't do it and don't want to comply with Esau motherfucking say, okay, well, we're gonna send troops to Iran because we don't like how they're killing their own people and how they're treating the women and children there. So we're just gonna go there and get things straight and fix things. Man, that's a motherfucking lie, man. That man is going there to take resources, man. Take oil lines or oil. Anything he wants that he think is fit for him. You know, that's covenantous. Covenantous. Let me get that. Salat.
Covetous.
Covetous. See, having or showing a great desire to possess something belonging to someone else, man. And that's this man, bro. That is Esau to the fullest, man. He never keepeth at home. Why? Because he has a covetous spirit, man. He has a covetous spirit, man. This man, listen, if you got anything higher than this man, you know, if you succeeding more than this man is going to look at that and envy you and set a net up for you, man. You know? It's like, hey, look, he's going to Venezuela for a reason, man. You know? To bring hell because they don't want to break bread, bro. He just going to come through. Jake, hey, he about to come through and take everything from Jake. Jake don't want to break bread, so we about to come through and take it all. You fucking wetbacks. That's how these devils think, man. You know? It says, and as death and cannot be satisfied. Salak, let me read it over. I'm gonna start over. It says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heap unto him all people. And that's what he do, man. You know, if y'all don't wanna go with what we got planned out for y'all gonna have to get the fuck down and lay down, man. That's what this man is about, man. You know? Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe unto him that increases that which is not his, man. Yeah, it's dead wrong that the cartel out there slanging that dope, but it ain't yours, Esau. It ain't yours. So you still want to get a piece of something that's not yours. The Lord chosen people is not yours. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we do not belong here in America. We belong to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah in the land of Israel. But what has this man done? He has taken us and have us build a city that we can't even motherfucking dwell safe in, man. You know? We can't dwell safe here, man. And we built this motherfucker, man. Ain't that some shit? You know? It says, woe to him that increases that which is not his. How long? And to him that laddeth himself with thick clay. You owe a big debt to so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man, but you boast in our face and tell us to go back to Africa if we don't like it here. We ain't from Africa, man. You know? This is the pridefulness of this man. You know? And that laden himself with thick clay, that's debt, man. This man still owe China, man. You know? Still in debt to China. But guess how he pays China back, man? I've seen it through detours, man. You know, detours, when say like you gotta pay on a detour to go a quicker way on some highways and shit. That's how I read an article. That's how they've been paying China back for the last 10, 15 years, man. That's some fucked up shit, man. You know? You want the money on demand. Why can't, when you get the bag back, pay it back on demand, man? You know? This is a wicked man. This is what we've been trying to reveal to you, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians, how wicked he is. But y'all still will plead and make deals with this man. You know? Verse 7. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, for the violence of the land of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that covenant and evil covenantedness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil, man. And that's what the Lord is going to allow to happen, man. All these, after this man's rulership is falling right now, man. You know, and after World War III, all the nations, the remnant that's left, the elect first, we're going to spoil this man. He's going to be taken into captivity, you know. Woe to him that have an evil covenant and evil covetousness to his house, man, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. And that's what this man has done. This man has set his nest on high, that he think that he's not going to be delivered from the Lord's day, from the day of wrath. You know, you got these judges sitting on high, smacking these gavels, and these police officers going home. They're not considering that karma is going to come to your nation, man. None of them are considering that, man. They're just still living their life, you know. It says, thou hast consulted shame, verse 10. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and have sinned against thy soul, man. And that's right, man. The Lord, hey, y'all have cut off a lot of souls to get where y'all at today, man. To have the wealth y'all have today, you know? And y'all still doing it. When them troops go to Venezuela, how many souls you think gonna get cut off, man? How many cartel members you think gonna go down by the way of death, man? Just because they don't want to break bread with a man they've been breaking bread with since they've been having motion, man. You know? Can't trust our enemy, man. Can't make no deal with this man, bro. Can't. You can't, man. It's never gonna be right, man. This man ain't righteous at all. It says, this is book of Psalms, chapter 58, verse 2. I'm gonna read it in the NIV. No, in your heart you devise injustice, and your hands mete out violence on the earth, man. And that's just talking about this so-called white man, the so-called white nation, man. If you don't comply and get what he want, even if you do comply and give Esau what he want, he's still gonna weigh the violence in the earth on your ass, man. He's still gonna put you to death, no matter what, man. You know. That's why the Lord told us, man. Let me get this scripture real quick. This is Psalm 62 and 10. Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them, man. And that's right, because when you're in this world, man, hey, you cannot trust in oppression, man. You cannot trust in this man money and trust in this man deals, man. And then if your money increase, you know, once they get a little money, man, it go to their head, man. They start getting back into the world. That's why the Lord true, man. They are poor, man. You know, they're poor. They're in poor states, man. You know, they're in a poor state, man. But if the Lord do give you riches, man, do not set your heart upon them, man. And that, hey, That's what Jake do. And that's what the cartel done. Hey, the cartel probably seen all that money they was getting without giving Esau their piece. Giving Esau his piece, they probably like, man, hell no. And ultimately, man, they probably just tired of this devil, man. They're tired of breaking bread to these devils, man. And these now they probably just ready to fight like, fuck it, man, you know? I don't blame them, man. Let me get the book of Psalms. In Psalm 73 and 12. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increased in riches, man. Let me read it in the NIV. This is the wicked are like always free of care. They go on amassing wealth. Amassing wealth, man. And that's these so-called white people, man. You know, they are always free of care, man. They dwell the earth without care, man. They dwell the earth like they have a privilege. They have a right to be a privileged people, man. That's how these damn devils dwell the earth, man. You know? And hey, man, they gonna have a rude of awakening, man, when my Lord come. But hey, man, don't trust these devils, man. And hey, Northern Kingdom probably was motherfucking probably tired of them, man. They don't want to break no bread no more, man. The Lord got these devils. The Lord got these devils, you know, on another timing, man. You know, it's either get down or lay down. No, usually they'll play with you. Okay, we'll give you a little time. Now, they know they have a short time, man. It's get down or lay down. Pretty soon they about to be like that to the Southern Kingdom, you niggas. And they ain't even about to, they just about to come down on you niggas. Let me get the book of Psalms 52 and 5. The Most High shall likewise destroy thee forever. This is going into you so-called white nation, man. You know. But I don't even know what to say now, because everything being watched, man. So, you know, I'm gonna have to put that in code as well too, man. But this is the book of Psalms, chapter 52, verse 5. This is going into you Edomites, man, so-called white nation, man. The Most High shall likewise destroy thee forever. He shall take thee away and pluck thee out of thy dwelling places. Where is that? In rulership. And root thee out of the land of living, man. The righteous also shall see and fear and shall laugh at him. And that's right, man. Why he say fear? Because it's gonna be in a time of wrath, man, where we're gonna be scared as fuck, but we're seeing like the Lord bringing his punishment, bringing his word coming true upon the Edomites, man. We're gonna be in happiness and laughing, man. It says, lo, verse 7, lo, this is the man that made not the Most High his strength, but trust in the abundance of his riches and strengthen himself in his wickedness, man. And that's us who serve Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. We know that this man don't trust in our power. We know it's only for us, man. You know, but hey, if you wicked Jakes knew that, you wouldn't be selling drugs, man. But ultimately, Jake sell drugs to escape suffering, to escape struggle, man. When really we're set up to struggle on this side, but only the elect, only the chosen few, man. You know, and this devil is abundant in his riches and strengthening himself in wickedness, man. Through death and riches, man. You're not set up to trust this man, man. Or have any of his ways, man. You know? But with that, I'm gonna end it. On to the next.